Hello guys, myself Mamta and my topic is about secure cell. So first, SSH stands for secure cell. Means secure cell stands for SSH stands for secure cell. And here what is SSH? Secure cell is a protocol for network communication designed to be relatively simple and inexpensive to implement. So secure cell is protocol for network communications. It is designed to be relatively simple and inexpensive to implement. And the purpose of SSH is it provides a secure remote login facility to replace Telnet and other non-remote login schemes that provides no security. And it also provides a client server capability, and it can be used for such networks like file transfer and email. And SSH protocol stack. SSH is organized as three protocols that typically run on top of TCP: SSH User Authentication Protocol, SSH Connection Protocol, SSH Transport Layer Protocol. So, uh, Secure Cell chooses combination of three protocols that typically run on the transport layer. First protocol is Secure Cell User Authentication Protocol. Name suggests itself this protocol is used for the authentication, so it is responsible for authenticates clients to the server. And the second protocol is Secure Cell Connection Protocol. It is responsible to create encrypted tunnel into several logical channels. And third protocol is Transport Layer Protocol. It is responsible for several server authentication, data confidentiality, data integrity, and data comprehension. So, in this SSH transport layer protocol, we are having three main functions. First one is host key, second one is packet exchange, and third one is key generation. So, the first one, host keys. Server authentication occurs as a transport layer based on the server possessing a public or private key pair. A server may have multiple host keys using multiple different asymmetric encryption algorithms. Multiple hosts may share the same host key. In any case, the server host key is used during key exchange to authenticate the identity of the host. For this to be possible, the client must have appropriate knowledge of the server public host key. So, in host key, uh, client must know about server's public host keys. For the key exchange, two alternative trust models that can be used in first that can be used. And first model is the client that has a local database. All the clients have to connect with that local database, and the local database store each host name with the corresponding host keys. And the second one is the host name to key association, and it is verified by a certificate authority. Next one is packet exchange. In packet exchange, we are having 6 steps. First is establish TCP connection. Second is identification of string exchange. Third is algorithm negotiations. Fourth is secure key exchange. Fifth is end of key exchange, and sixth is service request. There is a client and a server. First, in first, client establish a TCP connection to the server. This is done by the TCP protocol, and it is not a part of the secure transport layer protocol. Once the connection is established between the client and the server, then client and the server exchange the data. It is exchange the data. It is referred as to be packet. And transport layer package exchange consists of a sequence of steps. The first one is identification of string exchange. It begins with the client sending a packet with an identification string to begins with the client to the string. And next step is algorithm negotiation. In this step, client and servers send an secure cell message key exchange initialization. This message contains a list of supported algorithm. And the next step is secure cell key exchange. If we help an algorithm, it is used for the key exchange. And the next one is the end of the key exchange. The end of the key exchange is signaled by the exchange of secure cell message. New key packets at the point both sides may start using the key generations from the master key. And the final step is packet exchange. It is a service request. In this step, client sends a service request, either the user authentication or the connection protocol. After that, all the data is exchanged, which is protected by the encryption. And the next one is key generation in transport layer protocol. The keys used for encryption and MAC and any initial vector are generated from the shared secret key K. So the values are computed as follows. First one, it initial from client to server. Here the key generated values are calculated as K as secret key, H as host value from the key exchange, and the value A is generated from the secret key K, and the session ID indicates the session identifier. And second one, initial from server to client. Here K is the secret key, H is the hash value from the key exchange, and the value B is generated from the secret key K, and the session ID indicates the session identifier. And here the encryption key from client to server. Here K is the secret key, H is the hash value from the key exchange, and the value C is generated from the secret key K, and the session ID indicates the session identifier. And here encryption key from server to client, same as K is secret, H is hash value, D is a generated from secret key K, and integrity key from client to server. Here he is also generated from the secret key, and F is also generated from the secret key. This F is generated from the secret key in integrity key server to client. Now next is SSH user authentication protocol. SSH user authentication protocol. SSH user authentication protocol has three main functions. First one is message types and formats, second one is message exchange, third one is authentication method. So from the first one, message type and formats. From these three types of messages, there are three types in the authentication protocol, and in these three types of message, first message is used by client side. This message is the user authentication request. This message is sent by the client to the server. This message includes username, service name, and method name. After client request message, if the server accepts the authentication, it sends a single byte message. This message is user authentication successful. Here the 50 indicates that it is requesting, and the 52 indicates that the user authentication is successful at the server side. If the server rejects the authentication request, then server sends a message user authentication failure to the client. So in this function, these three types of messages are always used. And here the 51 indicates its failure. The user authentication is failure. And the next one is message exchange. The message exchange involves the following step. Step 1 is client sends secure cell message user authentication request, and username is not valued, then server send secure cell message user authentication failure. Third step is server send list of authentication methods. Fourth step is client select one of the method from the list and again send request to the server. Fifth step is if more authentication method is required, then server send partial success value true. Sixth step is when all required authentication methods succeed, then the server sends a secure cell message user authentication success message. Let's see. In message exchange, it takes between the client and a server, and the first steps is the client sends user authentication request to the server. After client authentication request, server check the username. If the username is valid, server sent authentication. If the user is invalid, server sent authentication as fail, means user authentication failure message to the client. If user authentication is failure, then server sent a list of authentication method to the client. After that, client sent one of the method from the list and again send a request to the server. After that, server checks the authentication request. If more authentication required, then servers and partial success values true to the client. When all required authentication method succeeds, then server sends user authentication success message to the client. Next one is authentication methods in authentication protocol. In this, we are having public key, host based, and password. So in public key, the message is encrypted by client's private key, and the client sends its public key to server along with message, and the server decrypt that message using client's public key. And in host based, all the clients are connects with the central system. It is called as host. Host public key is shared with all the clients. And password means client sends a message containing a plain password. This message is protected, means encrypted by the transport layer protocol. And the next protocol is SSH connection protocol. In this connection protocol, the three main functions are there. First one is channel mechanism, second one is channel types, and third one is port forwarding. About channel mechanism, let's see. About channel mechanism, all types of communication using secure cell are supported using separate channel. In this function, for each channel, each side associates a unique channel number which need not to be the same on the both sides. It means channel number from the client side and the server side both unique. And the life of a channel progress in three stages. First is opening a channel, second is data transfer, third is closing a channel. Now next one is channel types in connection protocol. 4 channel types are recognized in the secure cell connection protocol specification. First one is session, second one is X11, third one is forwarded TCP/IP, fourth one is direct TCP/IP. So session means this channel is mostly used in remote execution of a program. Example like email, file transfer, system command, or some built-in systems. Once channel is open, subsequent requests are used to start the program. And in XS11, this kind of secure cell channel is used in X Windows systems. This channel proves graphical user interface for network computers. So it means applications. So it means the application run on the server but to be displayed on desktop machine. So this kind of channel mostly used in disturbed network environment. And forward TCP/IP, it refers as a remote port forwarding, and direct TCP/IP, it refers as a local port forwarding. Now let's see about port forwarding in connection protocol. It is most useful features of secure cell. Port is an identifier of a TCP. Therefore, the features of SSH is the port forwarding ability to convert any TCP in secure connection to secure SSH connection. It is also referred as SSH tunneling. Means port forwarding is the most useful features of a secure cell. Mm, It means here secure cell connection means that SSH tunneling is always created between local secure entity and remote secure entity, and these secure cell provides two types of port forwarding. First one is local port forwarding and second one is remote port forwarding. Thank you.